Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate.
Thank you very much. Are there any further nominations for the position of Chair for 2023? For the third and last time, any nominations for Chair? Hearing none, I will declare Commissioner Sinnott elected as Chair of the Commission for 2023. Thank you very much. And now the election of Vice Chair. Commissioner Kerr.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Commissioner Rice for Vice Chair.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Rice, would you accept that nomination?
Yes, I would. Sorry, yes, I would.
Thank you very much. Are there further nominations for the position of Vice Chair? For the third and final time, further nominations? Hearing none, we'll declare Commissioner Rice Vice Chair of the Commission for 2023. Thank you very much. Madam Chairperson, would you like to?
Thank you, everybody. So I'm looking for an adoption of the agenda with the movement of item J1 to the front of the agenda, just because we have a person presenting with time limitations.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. And I guess we're going to move straight to the presentation.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are we ready?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I would like to introduce Paul Fast. He is the lead architect from the architectural firm HCMA, based in Vancouver with an office in Victoria. Paul has been helping us with the Recreate project since 2017, when they started doing the feasibility study, and they moved into schematic design and detailed design, recently completed. And doing two commitments that he has, I would like Paul to actually do a presentation, and then I will continue with the staff report that we issued to all of you last Friday. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, for having me today. What I'm going to walk you through here is the progress that we've made and the place we've come to with the design for the Strathcona Gardens Center, which is shaping up to be a really great facility here for your community. Next slide, please. So the vision statement that you're seeing here on the slide is one that was generated through extensive consultation with your community, with your staff, with your commissioners and councillors over the past several years, starting with a needs assessment, and a programming study several years ago. So this has the benefit of much input, particularly from your community, and it really highlights the fact that this facility is really important to your community members. We heard that loud and clear. And so we've tried to capture that in this statement here. Next, please. The location, of course, you're likely familiar with here is really situated directly on South Dogwood Street. Next slide. And you can see here some of the surrounding areas. There's a lot of institutional uses around the site, so we've paid close attention to that from a traffic planning and a parking management strategy standpoint. Next slide. This is really sort of an interesting slide, which shows you the historical development of that site in particular. And I think one of the things you can notice here in the earliest stages of that site development, there was a lot of forest on the site here. And so that's going to become important in terms of the context or the design inspiration for the project that you're about to see. Next slide. There's a number of sort of site constraints here that we're dealing with. There is some slope to the site that we have to be careful about. There's some grading issues. And then obviously the traffic, how you get on and off the site is really important. Dogwood is a busy street. And so there's lots of care been taken to determine how best to get people safely on and off of the site. and how to reconcile the sort of parking demand for this site with some of the surrounding uses as well. Next slide. The programming for the facility, again, was derived from a needs assessment study that was done several years ago that really looked at capacity in your region more generally, and the needs that were expressed by a number of stakeholder groups. And so what we're incorporating today is on the aquatic side is an 8-lane 25-meter pool with springboard and climbing wall, a leisure pool with a whole bunch of features that I'll get into, wellness pool, hot pools, water slides, and then the several multi-purpose rooms that will support a more general programming mix, a wellness center with both reception, treatment, and assessment rooms. And that forms a really kind of key part of the programming nature of the facility. Well, your wellness programming is a really important part, and is actually quite unique for a building like this. There's a big fitness area that we're putting into the existing pool, and then admin and gathering spaces as well. And we're also doing some renovation to your current ice support areas. Next slide. This is the existing facility, and if you go to the next slide, you'll start to see how we've positioned the new part of the aquatic center, which is really the largest space from a volume standpoint that you're building in this new center. Next slide. And then what we've done is tried to use the in-between spaces, the change rooms, the support spaces, the hallways, the social areas, to stitch the large aquatic center into the existing building, and really paying attention to making it look like it's a cohesive building, that it's not just another renovation that's been tacked onto an already fairly complex building, but that it looks seamless, cohesive, and integrated. From a scope standpoint, you're seeing here there's a renovation scope, which is the existing pool, which will turn into the fitness center, and then there's the new component. And then, of course, there's been lots of conversation in the past about the future arena and the possibilities of expanding the Rob Brindamore Arena there. Next slide. The site plan here, the site entrances remain largely untouched, but we've really reorganized the parking to be to provide for much more accessible access to the facility. So accessible stalls really close to the entry, a clean drop-off loop system, and then a nice plaza area that allows for both programming, but also informal, casual social use. Lots of opportunities there for people just to come and hang out before or after a swim. And then we've also done a lot of work to make the northwest corner of the site that currently has our large retaining wall a much more friendly experience. So we've stepped down the grading there. We've introduced some really nice landscaping that will feel like a much more generous pedestrian experience now than it was previously. Next slide. The floor plan here is you're seeing is basically the pool, the change rooms, the fitness space, and then that social heart that really is a corridor that connects to the existing lobby and entry space to your right. And we've maintained sight lines, really clear sight lines from the new to the old and vice versa, so that people can feel like they're connected and it's a seamless progression from one part of the building to the other, and made sure we've allowed enough room in those spaces for people just to hang out and enjoy the space, which is what they're currently trying to do with your building. Next. The pool itself has a number of really contemporary design features, ones that are intended to support best practices from lifeguarding, from a pool design standpoint, and also from an accessibility standpoint. So in the lap pool on the left, we've got the traditional sort of 25-meter lanes. We've also got a 1-meter springboard and a climbing wall that will be integrated, some seating, some spectator seating on the left as well. We've got the leisure pool there, which will have a lazy river in it and a whole host of sort of spray features, beach entry, a tots area. There'll be something for everybody, for every age in that pool. And then on the next slide, please. Here we've got a really large hot pool on the left. These are highly important from a social standpoint in today's aquatic facilities. There will be lots of people in that facility or in that pool. And then we've got the teach pool or the wellness pool, sorry, on the right. And this is really intended to facilitate your wellness programming, both with practitioners, but also informal use. And there's a number of really interesting accessibility features that are being built in into this whole area. And so the project will be Rick Hansen Foundation certified for gold. And that was a really important part of the design goals and parameters, given the unique nature of your sort of wellness programming for this facility. Next. We're incorporating a number of sustainability strategies, both from natural daylight to really advanced pool filtration and water treatment techniques, landscaping, adaptive and native landscaping. There's a number of really good sustainable local materials that are being incorporated into the roof structure, which I'll talk about right away. And then we're also, we've designed this building to be zero carbon ready, which means in the future, as the rest of the building is modernized and upgraded, you'll be in a position to actually certify the building for the zero carbon program by the CAGBC. Next. Phasing was a really difficult kind of challenge here, but I think we've solved it in a way that allows you to have continuity of access to your water services. So when your existing lap pool and leisure pool will remain operational while the new phase 1 is being built. And then in the next slide, you'll see that phase 2 is really the renovation of the existing pool. And so the reception area will be temporarily relocated during that time, but you'll still have change rooms and access to the new pool at that point. So the idea here is a seamless continuity of service for your patrons. Next slide. The third phase really just deals with some renovation cleanups from those interface areas. Next. This is an outside view if you're traveling on Dogwood looking south, traveling south. And so we're really highlighting wood as the dominant kind of design feature inside the natatorium and allowing that aquatic volume to kind of stand up high and tall and proud. And that will glow at night. It'll be a beacon for the surrounding area. It will really be quite iconic and visible from far away. Next, please. If you're coming into the parking lot, again, there's going to be sort of curated views to the lower part of the natatorium of the pool space through those trees. Those trees will allow you to kind of walk in a very pleasant manner along that sidewalk to the front entry. Next slide. And then the inspiration for the canopy was really this idea of walking through a forest and the quality of the light that falls through the tree canopy, and this idea that that tree canopy is always overhead and has a very special spatial quality. And we also know the wood industry is important to Campbell River and the surrounding region, and so we've incorporated materials here that could be sourced locally. These trusses will be prefabricated, and so they'll aid in the speed of construction and efficiency there. And I think will form a really incredible experience for your patrons. If you go to the next slide, you can see here, and then the next slide, please. This is the interior view of the pool space, and so you're looking from the leisure pool to the north. So that's the kind of view that you'll have if you're out and about for a swim. Next, please. On the wellness zone, we've deliberately dropped the ceiling height down here to be a little bit more efficient, but also to allow for integration of acoustic solutions that will make this a quieter, a slightly more contemplative space that really supports the wellness focus for the space, both for the hot pool and for the wellness pool here on the left. Lots of spaces for people to sit and rest before and after treatments or a dip in the hot pool. Next, please. And then the front entry here is really highlighting kind of the view right through into the pool space and the opportunities that your patrons will have for sitting. That one wall opens up completely, and so you'll have a seamless sort of indoor-outdoor connection from the lobby space out into that exterior social area. Next. The materials for the site, for the project, were derived from sort of inspiration of the materials you have in nature around you. And so we're playing with a palette that is muted, but reflects the tones and the qualities of the places, things that you'll be familiar with if you were to go out for a walk in your area. Next slide, please. So we're working with a very durable exterior metal panel solution, but we're introducing folds in that to allow for some variation. Next slide. This is just the front entry. So wood is a feature wherever we want people to go, we're putting wood. And so it's a natural sort of wayfinding device that will wrap from the outside to the inside, and lots of transparency in and out. Next. And the color palette here you can see plays with sort of that green to orange tone, and that'll be applied in very sort of subtle ways throughout the facility. Next. We've also done a really comprehensive wayfinding strategy that really focuses on inclusive, accessible signage that will be available, or that will be accessible for everybody that uses your facility. So we're taking inspiration again from the kind of tree pattern rhythm for some of the language here, but really focusing on making sure that it's easy, intuitive, and it's a natural way for people to find their way through your building. Next. Exterior signage, you have some in place already. We're going to redo that to be more coordinated with the new design in the new building and to provide just an updated, more modern approach to the signage. Next. You can see here some of the change room arrival entries. We do have universal change rooms along with some gendered change rooms as well. Next. And here, just that view from the front entry desk, just using small, simple directional signage here to allow people to find their way to the places they want to use. Next. And that's sort of the project in a very quick nutshell. So we are at the stage now where we are essentially ready for building permit and tender. And so you have a complete design ready. There's been a huge team that has worked together really closely with your staff and your team to develop this design, and it's ready to go, as it were. So thank you for your time.
Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to receive the report.
Motion.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried.
So I think, Madam Chair, at this point, I think Paul has to run. Sorry about running overtime there. We have a subsequent staff report that the intent was to give some history on the project and bring you up to the point where Paul led off. We were going to do it in reverse order, but I think what we'll do now, thanks, Paul, appreciate your time and patience hanging with us, and then we'll kind of reverse order, go back to the start of this process and bring you up to where Paul had it.
So we're at a stage where we're going to have the staff report received? Is that?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to receive the staff report, please.
Motion to receive.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
Through the chair to the commission, the purpose of the report is to present the background of the Recreate project and a little bit of a status update of where we are today. Some of the things that I'm going to mention have been already introduced by Paul, but we can see the amount of work that has been developed since 2015 all the way up until today to have a project that is pretty much shovel ready with tendering drawings and pretty much ready for building permit and construction. So I think it's really important to understand the buildings. The first building for the recreation complex was built in 1971. That is the Arena 1 that was named Rod Brinkman Arena, I believe, later on. And then 1978, we built the pool, and in and then we'll continue with the third building. So as we can see, all these building components are aging and they already reached the lifespan. So significant amount of work has been done through so many years to actually maintain the facility. One of the major issues that we have is the leak in the pool that has been identified in the needs assessment and the condition assessments that were developed in 2015 and 2016, and that's how Recreate actually came alive. Based on that, we moved the project into a feasibility study and then a schematic report that came with a couple of options, with an option that was approved to actually build the new aquatic center and rehabilitate the existing areas. I'm going to speak a little bit more about the project design. So the proposed and approved option is completed. As we mentioned, we have a project that is ready. The total cost that we incurred today to actually have all those assessments and engage all the consultants and all these construction managers to help us in quantity surveyors to have cost estimates is approximately $2.4 million. The total cost to actually build the Recreate project today is $53 million. That cost continue increasing as we continue waiting to build the project. The cost excludes any escalation that we have for 2023. So basically, that's what the construction manager is telling us, getting quotes from subtrades. That's what it's costing us right now. In terms of project information sessions, we have been working with the community. An advisory group was formed back in 2017 to work in the proposed option. In 2022, we work with the First Nations, we work with the user groups, we work with the staff and the general public to introduce the project, and we're conducting some public information sessions. We also have a website that we maintain and we provide updates. In terms of grant opportunities, very interesting. We have the first grant opportunity submitted in 2019. That grant opportunity included the new aquatic, the rehabilitation in the arenas. We were not successful with that. That was an application that was submitted to Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program under the recreation stream. And then in 2021, we resubmitted another application. We reduced the scope of work to increase the opportunities to get funding, and we got informed that we were not successful again. Therefore, we decided that looking at the requirements, it was best to actually move the project into detailed design projects that would get us closer to construction to eliminate a lot of the risks, because they were asking for class estimates B and A. So that's what we did. And we submitted an application a few months ago, and we submitted to the Union of BC Municipalities under the Strategic Priorities Fund, and we're waiting for a response that we're hoping to be announced within the next 3 to 4 months. We're also looking into another grant application that was announced, it was announced in December. It's called the Green and Inclusive Facilities, the Green and Inclusive Communities Building. That was a program that was launched 3 years ago, and it got frozen 2 years ago. We were waiting for that. Now we're looking at the different requirements. Things continue changing. There are only funding projects that meet the net zero standard B3, which is changed from B2. B2 is what Paul was telling us, is having a project that is net zero ready. Now they're asking that every project has to be, all the components need to be electrified, the building. So we're looking into see how can we make that happen, and if we meet the requirements and have everything we need to submit an application. So you will hear from the staff in a report coming up. And we're gonna be looking at financial options based on what we receive from cost estimates, and that's what I have with regards to my report.
So, Madam Chair, if I can just chase it back a little bit to give some historical context to where we got today. So, back in 2015, we did a needs assessment, and we did an assessment on the structure itself. We're losing water at the facility. We don't know where it's going. So we've hired geotechnical engineers and consulting firms, and basically we have a rutting of the sub-base under the pool. So the pool is old, it leaks, we're losing water. We don't know where the water is going. So the sub-base needs to be revisited. So we got a couple options there. You know, one, we could have just taken a path to dig out the pool, fix the sub-base, and go back where we were. We did a lot of public consultation with the folks in the community. And number one was nobody wanted the facility shut down for a couple of years. They said, whatever you do in here, keep the thing open and find a way to stage it. So it kind of served a couple needs for us in that, one, if we're not going to shut the thing down and we got a problem with the sub-base, was, well, let's shove the pool over and we can build the pool, and then once the pools, keep the old pools going, once the new pool's there, we're in there, and then go after the old pool area and turn that into a wellness area, because it was really the only option available to kill two birds with one stone and keep the facility open. At the same time, we attacked the whole facility in upgrading the Rod Bindermore Arena too. So we had the arena, we had the wellness, and we had the pool, and the whole 9 yards in there. Direction from Commission was to take that. We were about $72 million. Commission said, okay, there's a program out there, let's submit the whole thing, trying to get it to that. Grants take a long time as they meander through the provincial and federal offices. About a year and a half, 2 years later, we received notice that we didn't get the money. told us that we needed to scale back the project. That's just too much money. We scaled, we took out the arena portion of it and just looked at the wellness area and the pool area. Submitted an application probably for about half as much money as that again to the next program. Weren't successful from that, and then got feedback from the province. Looked at awards of similar projects and looking at about $9-10 million. So they said scale it down to something about this magnitude. So that's what we've currently done right now. We have a grant opportunity for about $7 to $9 million, I think, and as we've gone through this journey, the world's changed. Supply chain, cost of construction, building. So we've taken out a significant portion of the project being the arena, and then through cost escalation, we've gone through $72 million for the whole yards back in 2018-19 to about $53 million today for the pool and the wellness center. So I want to give some up-to-date history on how we've got to the point. And again, like Wolf said, the commission committed to saying, okay, look, to increase our ability to get grant money, we want to be shovel ready. So we committed to the design of the wellness and the pool. So we have a complete design of the pool wellness center, all paid for, bought, designed, sitting in there, tender ready for it. But we have a number of options moving forward now. So currently, we've been in a holding pattern, waiting to see if we get a grant, and we don't know. Now that grant again has shrunk from about $7 to $9 million in a $53 million project, where we were trying to get the whole $72 million at start. So there's still a gap for us, even if we do get a grant, and find a way to bridge that gap. What we have been doing in the meantime is putting a fairly significant amount of money away in reserve to look at a mortgage payment, if you will. So we probably put away plus or minus about enough money to do a $25 million build at this point. That's our kind of current requisition and mortgage payment, if you will. We probably have about $7 million in the bank. And then if we looked at a grant in the 7-9, we're getting close to the 53, but we're a little short of it, but we're in the ballpark for that. So we have a number of options. I just didn't want to bring you a budget and say, hey, what would you like us to do moving forward? Give you some context, have an opportunity to chat about it. And then today's meeting, we have a report in there for a commission meeting, a budget commission meeting on the 31st, I believe. And that will we'll present some opportunities, say, from current money, we won't change anything. We'll take the money we've got, we'll put a bunch of Band-Aids on the thing, and we'll fix the pool basin to you can spend unlimited amounts. So I think it was important to communicate, how we've gotten to this point and why, and what some of the delays and changes in philosophies are. So that's where we are today, again, with that current design, and somewhere in the ballpark of having the amount of money available to borrow, contribute our cash grant, and maybe increase requisition a little bit. So we'll have some options for you come the 26th, and see what the appetite is, and or change directions completely, whatever the commission and the board like. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a background. Apologize, Paul was a little quick. We ran over time, he had to go, but happy to answer as many questions as everyone has.
Well, I open it up to the various commissioners. Is there any questions you want to direct to staff?
Easy group.
I know, apparently it's well answered. Okay, well, we're running late, so I want to move this along. I believe our next opportunity, I'll get my agenda back. Okay, we're now at the petition delegations, and I believe we have the Campbell River Skating Club here and willing to make a delegation. So welcome the Campbell River Skating Club.
Okay, thanks. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. My name is Rory Allen, and I'm the Director of Programs for the Campbell River Skating Club. We're here today to advocate for the community of ice skaters who use the ice services located at the district-operated Strathcona Gardens Recreation Complex. Our official request is to have the Commission reevaluate the ice allocation policy based on demographic changes in the community. Okay, better. Before we proceed with those details, we will provide you with some introductory facts on our organization. Skate Canada, a not-for-profit organization, is the world's oldest and largest figure skating entity. Skate Canada is funded by the federal government through Sport Canada. The Campbell River Skating Club, also a not-for-profit organization, was established as a sanctioned club of Skate Canada in 1972, and as such has just passed its 50th year of operation. Club operation expenses are subsidized through provincial gaming grant funds. Skate Canada mandates that all sanctioned clubs, including ours, follow nationally standardized lesson content. The world-renowned curriculum that all Canadian clubs adhere to was created and is constantly evolving through the support of taxpayers' dollars. Our club ensures that residents have access to classes that meet the program delivery standards as established by Skate Canada. Sorry for the feedback, I don't know. The Campbell River Skating Club offers grassroots entry-level programming for all ice sports, including 4 days per week of pre-can skate, parent and taught can skate, adult can skate, and youth can skate for the community to benefit from. Our Learn to Skate programs continue to be the most populous programs on offer. Can Power Skate is Canada's national hockey and ringette skating skills program. This popular program is presently sold out here in Campbell River. Our smallest group of members includes competitive figure skaters who are now competing both regionally and provincially at Super Series competition events. Participants currently range in age from 2 to 51 years old, although there are no age restrictions. The gender split is approximately 50-50, which demonstrates our success in engaging females in sport. We operate comprehensive year-round on and off-ice programs for all community members to embrace the joys of skating. Our club is growing at an exceptionally rapid pace. In 2022-2021 season, we had 50 members. By the end of our 2021-2022 membership year, which was August 31st, club membership rose to 191. This represents a 382% increase. We have recently started our second quarter of the 2022-2023 membership year, and our current membership already stands at 187. Several classes are currently sold out with waiting lists. On staff are 4 paid coaches, including myself. I moved to Campbell River in August of 2021 to take on the role of Director of Programs and Head Coach for the club. All of our professionally accredited coaches are trained and certified by Skate Canada and the National Coaching Certification Program. We are committed to providing exceptional Skate Canada skating programs for skaters of all ages and skill levels while developing essential life skills through exposure to aspects found in sport. As such, in response to demographic changes and the growing needs of the community, we are seeking increased access to our most fundamental resource, that of ice time. Specifically, the spring term runs from April 11th to June 30th. Ice time we have been provided with runs weekdays from 5:15 until 8:30 p.m. As outlined, the vast majority of our members are youth who cannot start until 3:30 p.m. due to school. Many cannot skate after 8 p.m. due to their age and sleep requirements. Presently, until 5 p.m., there are public skating sessions being offered every weekday for the entire duration of the spring term. Current drop-in hockey type programs and public skating is offered, and there's a list of times. The total of that is approximately 31 hours weekly on weekdays alone. There's an additional approximation of weekend ice being 35.5 hours. The weekly sum of leisure ice in the mini rink, in case you're unfamiliar with it, is about 38.5 hours weekly. So the sum between both Rink 2 and Leisure Ice is 74 hours weekly. Just to give you an idea, our spring is about 14 hours is what we typically have had. But with this growth, we are requiring more. We have requested attendance numbers on those sessions. However, we were informed that we could not be provided with that information. So we're unsure of what the attendance looks like during those approximate 74 hours. So our ask, in order to maintain quality program delivery for all community members to benefit from, we kindly request that the Commission consider providing us with an opportunity to rent the ice from 3:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. By doing so, area residents will still enjoy 65.25 hours of drop-in hockey / public skating type programs. The reduction of our evening ice rental request, removing 8 to 8:30 from Monday to Friday each week, will provide opportunities for other adult user groups to utilize those evening hours. In conclusion, the Campbell River Skating Club is a not-for-profit organization that provides exceptional skating opportunities to a vast area of residents. We are a well-established organization with 5 decades of skating experience, and we are pleased to be presenting this proposal to you. The decision you make will affect the growth and development of so many young people and their families, and we appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite a motion to receive the report or the delegation.
Receive report.
Thank you. Any discussion on the receipt motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Yeah, of course. Any commissioners have any questions of the presenters with respect to what we've heard, and perhaps even direct some to staff if they have a reply? Yes. Is that a motion to request staff prepare a report on the options available with respect to reallocating ice time based on the request from the Campbell River Skating Club?
Well, just to comment on today's presentation as to what conversations have gone on previous to this presentation.
If I can, Madam Chair, I think your motion is likely a good one. It serves Cal's purposes well, I believe.
Correct. Yep.
So may I have people, thank you. So who's my first, or is it Cal's making the?
Correct.
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, may I have a show of hands in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Any further questions that wish to be asked for the delegation? Okay, hearing none, I guess we're off to the next item. Thank you very much for attending. You obviously put a lot of work into that. Very well done. Okay, now our next item is the adoption of minutes from the meeting that was held October 12th, 2022. May I see a motion? Yes, thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Any business arising from those minutes? Hearing none. Okay, so now we're back to our meeting calendar, which is item J sub 2. And what are we looking for in that one? Oh, we're looking for a motion to receive, apparently.
Motion to receive.
Yes, thank you. Any further discussion?
If I may, Madam Chair, so this is a typical commission calendar that we've used for the last number of years, and unless there's changes that may come forward from the commission, we're recommending that we support the existing calendar.
I apologize, I had a little whisper in my ear. So are we just looking to confirm this proposed calendar? Okay, so may I get an invitation to accept the calendar as proposed? Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. Is there a second item that comes from that? Nope. And I believe the next one is the budget meeting that we're going to propose. Well, first of all, let's get the report received. Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
So if I can, Madam Chair, as I mentioned, I'm suggesting to have a special board meeting or commission meeting on the 31st. So what I'm planning to do with the whole board and the electoral areas is piece out the budget into 3 parts. On the 25th, I'm going to bring forward a budget that includes regional service, so everything for member municipalities. And I think it's appropriate to peel out the commission part. We have a regional services that combines a number of things, administration as well. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, I leaked out that it's looking quite good. And I think we don't have any real line of sight, and we haven't met with the commission to say, you know, what's the direction we want. That can have nothing or a significant impact to the budget of Area D and Campbell River. So we're coming with a board regional services on the 25th. We're doing on the 26th the electoral areas. And then I want to do on the 31st gardens, and let's have a discussion about what we're going to do moving forward, because it could have a significant impact. And I think after you see what we have for regional services and MIN, it's quite low. Maybe that gives you some ability to think about possibilities based on the examples we give you about what you could spend or couldn't in there. So again, want to bring some options on the 31st to look at just the gardens.
Any questions for staff? Okay, well, we've got a motion on the floor. All in favor of receipt? Any opposed? It's carried, so mark your calendar. I'm free.
B is the actual.
Oh, we have to make a motion that we actually set the meeting for the 31st. May I have that motion, please?
I'll move that motion.
Thank you, and Cal, your second. Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. I don't see anything further unless someone's, oh, we've got one more? Number 4. We have another report to be received for the membership.
Move report.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So I might as well complete the dance card here. So this is a holdover from the previous commission. There was a request made of one of the commission members to examine adding another commission member of the public community at large. That group didn't feel it was appropriate for them to decide on it, pushed it forward to this. And again, it's a request that if you want to look at having another member of the public besides our beloved Cal here. Maybe it's an indication that Cal needs some help. I don't know. You never know. But Cal is on also a different timeline than the board. We've staggered that. So Cal has, I believe, another year on the commission, and it might be an opportunity if the commission wishes to add a member or not.
Okay, well, I think there might be some questions. Yes, Councillor Kerr, then, Commissioner Kerr, and then Commissioner Dahl.
Thank you, Chair. And, you know, I think that there's probably a good discussion and a case to be made for additional support. And we do have Strathcona Gardens staff. You know, we've got lots of support here already. Maybe in terms of continuity, if Cal decided to retire, we'd have somebody in training. But my gut feeling is it's premature, and with the inaugural meeting right now and just getting our feet wet to actually make a decision on this. So I'd propose that we defer this discussion to later on in the season.
I would second that.
Well, we have We have a receipt motion. Now we're having a discussion, and I'll entertain a following motion afterwards. So is there any more that's going to be discussed about this particular issue before we get to the subsequent and the vote?
Sure, just to add, I completely agree with Commissioner Kerr. There's no real panic. It came, I believe, at the last commission meeting. There was, nothing, no build-up to it at all. There's certainly no panic, so, yeah, I don't think there's a rush at all.
Commissioner Dahl, do you have any comments at this point?
I was gonna move option B, so pretty close to the same thing.
Okay, well, first of all, let's vote on the receipt. All in favor of receipt? Any opposed? Okay, now we have a second motion by Commissioner Kerr.
I'm just looking for option B. I didn't see it there.
B is word unchanged. Don't change anything. Status
Certainly. I move option B.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried.
all the weights on your shoulders, County.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion for termination.
So moved.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? It's carried. I run quick meetings.